Good morning, folks. Good morning. Sorry about that. Matt says, that scared the shit out of me. You scare the shit out of me sometimes. Actually, that started about 3 minutes ago, but apparently you have to hit go live. Okay. Let's get this going. Brian says, the Dow Jones Industrial Average, the nightly news index, is the first to go green. Unbelievable. The dark horse. Never bet against the underdog. Never. Looking very good. Just give me 1 sec. Let's get this going. The Dow is green. Everything is basically break even. Even the S&P, even the NASDAQ. If we look at some candles here we go, coming into the day. What's up with the echo on the YouTube audio? I did that on purpose. See if you're paying attention. How's it sound now? You want me to play Dark Horse Katy Perry? We could just sit here and listen to music. I say fuck trading today. Let the positions run. You guys check out cruise lines today. Fuck me, sideways. Could you imagine? Look at, holy moly, this is up another 4% pre-market? Jeez. Holy. What do you guys think about travel? You think we should get in? No? Sea Trader says no. No. No travel. Okay, no travel today. Well, TCOM coming out of this pennant. No travel? GE, Aerospace and Defense. What do you guys think about aerospace and defense? The sector. If you don't want to trade something that's on an uptrend and you want to trade something else, and chase dogs, let's say you want to be, you know what? I'm a big fan of tech. All I want to do is trade tech. I hope you're trading it down. I hope you're shorting. I hope you bought some puts, sold some calls, shorted. If not, geez, you're trying to make something work that it's been a while. It's been a while, by the way. It's really been a while. You know how long it's been since you got a breakout? It's been quite some time. The last time I remember was the summer of 2020. Is the last time I remember that you could go long. Besides short-term trades, taking swings, why try to make something work that's not working? You don't need to do much. You either need to get out of the market or trade half the tickers that are going to the upside instead of the half that are going down, unless you're shorting that other half. It's very simple. Now, it gets a little difficult to pick and choose which ticker you should be trading, which is why you lucky few got some great charts to look at. We have some interesting resistance levels coming in today, which being Thursday today is going to make things pretty fun. Because again, Friday, Green Friday, we have Powell speaking today at 12 at noon. So what's he going to say? Is he going to tell all of us to go suck one and you're on your own? And I'm telling you what right now, I told you last week that the Fed is not going to stop. This is Powell's quote. I told you last week we weren't going to stop providing the $120 billion a month, and we're not going to change interest rates until our mandates are met. But you know what? I said, fuck it. You guys made enough headlines that today we are upping the rates and we're scratching the support no longer because you posted so many headlines. You called me so many times. Is that going to happen today? No. Chill. We're looking for the Dow. We're looking for the Russell to continue to lead, specifically the value on the Russell 2000. The funniest part is about looking at the Russell 2000 every day through IWM is that I speak about value, but then no one here knows what the actual value side of this is in terms of a ticker. You guys let me know by end of the day if you know the value Russell 2000 symbol name. You let me know. Anyways, in terms of macros, what's happening today to start the day? Let's bring it over here to Markets tab. Yield stabilized once again from yesterday. Stabilized once again. Again, we are looking at the yields increasing as sort of a positive for the value side. Because again, it's sort of a confirmation of the idea for being in value in the first place, which is reinflation, and that things getting hotter is good for something that does not grow. Again, value tickers, they don't have growth in earnings. That's what the fucking difference between those two names are. And so by actually being reinflated and for things to get hotter, that idea that we keep seeing in headlines, it is going to actually give a bit of an exponential to those. And instead of being just flat, it's going to maybe trend, which we've been doing. And so we like all those ideas, whether yields increase or not. They are at least signaling the right ideas for the charts that we're trying to get a part of. We are taking a very active approach. We're not going passively into value. You could just, again, trade through IWM, and just because it's through the full value, IWM only tracks the value tickers. Again, if you look at this trend, it feels really silly if you did anything else. And the reason why it feels silly is because it's not that you needed to get in immediately after the election. You could have taken some time, but it's that if you keep trying to fight what's going on, and I make this analogy every now and then of, you're taking a boat out into the fucking sea, and you're trying to fight a current or a storm. You see a big fucking storm and you drive into the storm. You need to have the right kind of boat. If you're on a little wobbly fucking 2x4 made boat with a little tiny sail, you're probably not going to do too well going into the current. Maybe you need to wait. These kind of things. If you're going to go into the sea, you need to be prepared. All you had to do is, some of you don't have a big enough boat, and that's okay. You're going to have to trade a little differently based on your boat size. Or you could just avoid the storm, go with the current. Do you want to fight the current or go with the current? Right now, the current is going through value. The storm is in growth, in tech. Now, is this going to bounce back? Yes, it's going to. There's really nothing you can do about the S&P, even the NASDAQ with mega caps and tech not really being hot. There's nothing you can really do about it. It's going to be pulled back through an average, right? It's going to be pulled back. Brian says, is BE clean energy or Dow energy? Right? Google. All right. Let's bring it over to the dollar. Again, the dollar reaching the top of its range of what we understand of being a risk-off mentality, sort of through safe haven. This move here, what's been happening? Well, we've had a big spike in yields again this week. We've had a lot of outflow from tech. Is this equal to the amount that's outflowed from growth? No. A lot of it has rotated into value, which we've seen and been gaining on, which some of you have been gaining on, and some of you have been price watching. This will be important during Powell's speech, right? Powell's going to come out, say the same thing as usual. We're looking for this to come. We are looking for the Dixie, the DXY to come down, and for volatility to come down in a very similar fashion to over here and over here. And we're buying again at the peak of this. We're already in position. Those of you that are not in position, you just woke up, you haven't traded for the week or something. You have plenty to do today and tomorrow, because if you don't, I don't think you know where the market is. Have you seen where the market is? Again, you have another opportunity to at least swing to the upside. At least make one fucking trade. Friday, you're going to be able to make at least one trade to push over the weekend, with minimal downside risk to go get that 100% gain you're looking for through just some simple options. You don't need any complex strategies. You keep it simple. Buy an at-the-money call option that's not 10 cents, right? Unless you're trading GE and they might be like 40 cents. But then you got to buy like 100 of them, right? Whatever it is, there's trades out there. And the thing that should continue to piss you guys off is every single day I come on here and we look at the same tickers in the same sectors. They just keep going up, right? Travel keeps going up. Energy, banks. Banks are down a little bit to start because they had a big day yesterday. They continue to rise and rise and rise. And every single day we have these other tickers that are they're not a part of any macro equation. They are on their own. DraftKings from last Friday, going over to the weekend. Penn as well. We understand them as being a bit more retail-oriented. We like to pick and choose our retail tickers to be the boogeymen on. We go in there, find them, eat them alive. What did we do yesterday? We took advantage of Lyft and Uber, right? Mentioned this trade. This is not tied into anything. What do we look for? We look for consolidations that are going to break out. That's what we do here. We trade breakouts. Every chart I post is a breakout. All those breakdowns are just breakdowns from consolidations. We see the consolidation, look for the point at when it breaks out, and trade it. That's it. It's the only time we understand what price is doing. So we took these trades yesterday. No macros you need to know here. Yes, it's important to understand supply and demand, understand why this would get demand on a day like yesterday. Yes, that's a big part of it. But again, these are not tied into any sort of value growth discussion of, okay, well, maybe it's converging here. None of that. None of that. You didn't have to do anything not too much work here. So again, it's about looking through your tickers. I know you guys didn't look at all those tickers yesterday that I posted, right? I wouldn't either. I would just look through the names, go, okay, I'm not going to go long on those ones. But still, you got to be prepared for any side. Now, what's my expectation? I'm betting on the long side, but still, I prepared 65 tickers that I'd go short on. There's 65 tickers on that list I posted yesterday. 65. Yet, I still prepared 65 to go short on, just in case. Just in case. In case this does break down and does sort of send us to the Stone Age, which you guys change your mind on every day. Pamp, crash, You've got, that's what the headlines look like every day. I have no idea how. I don't know what they're looking at. Looks like just price action to me. The candles are a little fucking big. Spreads are a little wide. But again, let's keep things, within the realm of reality. And if you continue to do something, then you're just continuing to do something, right? Continuing to do something. So in terms of things to be watching today, we are pushing a lot of positions again. It's going to be another management day. It's similar to yesterday, but the difference today is going to be that we're going to get demand most likely comparatively. So what happens to some of our positions that continue to do well on days that the market's down, right? It's really easy to be like, well, the market was down yesterday, but it's like, well, all of our tickers that we've been trading have been up. And so how do we go about with our mentality to continue? So again, on a day that you have to watch your prices. So if your prices are up, then you're not taking you're taking into account, but you're not letting it affect your decision making to stay in a position or to get out of position just because some other side of the market's crashing in your mind. It's not crashing. And then on a day like today, how is this going to affect some of these charts? Now the market seemingly is going to be bid because, again, we're sort of ebbing and flowing. So what do some of these charts that have continued to trend to the upside do on a bullish day again? What if I told you could just go back and look? Just go look. What happened on those days that the market was up as a whole to those tickers that you're in? All you had to do is look, right? So we understand that the demand as a whole, if the market is going to the demand side, is usually the day that these kind of tickers start to see a little bit less demand. A little bit less demand because it's going somewhere else, right? But we also understand that these charts, from the value perspective, value does not have momentum, but value can become momentum. My understanding is that these charts are going to start to become momentum. They're going to be momentum traded, which again has been happening. This idea, and I will keep using the comment because it's really funny. Brian was like, since we're long on small cap value, can we be short on large cap tech that we were long on before? And yes, we have been. And so it's a funny comment because it's also where the market is right now, not realizing that's what we've been doing since the presidential election. Small cap value has completely beat out the rest of the market. It is up a significant amount comparatively, right? I just want to show you this really quick. If we just look at the true value over here, presidential election, almost 50% on small cap value, 50% since the presidential election, 50. Let's go look at the SPY. Let's look at the SPY here. 15.5. You tell me which one you want to be a part of. Well, you guys have been a part of the other one, right? Now tell me which one has fucking momentum. The small cap value, most likely. So we are already sort of within that, right? And it's very easy for people to not realize that that's what's been going on. And again, that's why through that entire phase, I've said every single day, you need to be a part of it. And you just keep watching it and watching it and watching it. Guess what? You did miss out on 50% of gains on a fucking index. Yeah. Some of you. Most of you have been trading through it. But the market did at least, right? At least a lot of the market did. And so why? Because it's hard to be planning for that other than, maybe we got lucky through, not lucky, but we really honed in on this value idea that didn't need to be the case, could have gone another way. But it was something that, again, we had been honing on through 2020, coming into the end of the year, this value idea. That's what it felt like. And guess what? It was fucking right. It was right. And so, again, if you didn't get paid through that time, that's where the problem comes in, because then it gets difficult. Like this time has probably been difficult, right? Overall, if we compare difficulty, it has been difficult trading because you want to keep going long, but then you have to transition out. It's a little bit more difficult. So you wanted to make those gains during that fucking 50% run, right? On just the trades we've been making, right? You could have just put your money in the ETF. You would have been up 500%, right? So again, you don't want to say, okay, well, it's happened. What I'm making the point for is that we're going to continue to trade that trend. Stop trying to force tech. Don't force tech. I tried to do it with Tesla the other day. It was a mistake. It was a mistake, right? I shorted Tesla, and then I wanted to make Tesla happen over here. It's a mistake. I didn't follow my rules. I even said we're going to break the rules for this trade, right? I even said that. I'm going to try to preempt the trade. We don't have to do that. We don't have to do that. We're on the right side of the market and trading through the right lens, and we're trading with the trend, not against it. Don't fight the current. Don't buck the trend. Trade with it. And again, it's support. You can enter at any point. You can continue to enter that, realize some of the gains, continue to enter it. Those of you that are still just not, you're not going to look at them, you're not going to make fucking money, stop trading. Just stop trading. Some of you are terrible at trading anyway. Greasy fingers, stop. You want to make money? Then stop, right? Just stop. You're trying to make tickers work that are never going to work, and it's like some of you traded Boeing for like a year all through here, and then as soon as I talk about it, oh, now we can finally trade it, then you don't trade it, right? Those kind of things, it's not going to happen. JJR's, but Tesla's sexy, exactly. It's the same thing. It's like, well, I made money on Tesla over here, so now I can make Tesla over here. It's just, you could just literally just not trade, and you'd be doing better, right? Those of you that have lost money, it's because you're probably doing really stupid things, right? Doing really stupid things, and you know who you are. Just don't do anything then. Just don't do anything. It's better than wasting your time and losing money, right? We look at the same things every day. Don't try to come up with your own charts and everything, those of you that don't have the time. All you need to work on is execution. And a lot of the execution just comes down to hitting a fucking button. Just hit the button. You're looking at a chart and it's going up, hit the button, and you can hit it immediately after to sell out of it if you need to. But you just got to do it. You have to do it. Ecto says, can't wait to tell Greg about my Tesla trade. I told Greg about my Tesla short. I had to pull his head out of the macaroni bowl. But anyways, guys. Yeah, please no stupid comments, for sure. Now, can you make these trades? Yes. You can buy this on support here. You can swing it. Sure. You can make a day trade out of it. Sure. That's not the point. But the point is those of you that ignore every single chart there is to trade because you want to make something else work. That's not how it works. You do not get to make your own charts work and trade through it or something. You can't just like trade one ticker and trade the candles that way. You don't get to decide. You trade price. That's it. If the price isn't there, then that's not, what does that show? The price is right. The price is wrong, bitch. Remember from Happy Gilmore? Maybe that should become a saying in your minds, right? In terms of volatility here, I'm trying to think of some numbers here to give you guys. I don't know if it comes all the way down today. After Powell's speech, it just tanks down here? Maybe. It might actually just come down all the way today. I'm not exactly sure. It's this candle here, I mean. It's probably going to look exactly like this one. Obviously, we're not producing a higher high. It would have already happened. So S&P is going to do well. I don't know how well the NASDAQ does. We're still going with Dow, 34,000 by April. So again, those big Dow companies, minus Apple and Microsoft. Microsoft's doing decent enough up there in the trend. Going to get up in the trend. We'll see how this does. But again, the two tech companies within the Dow are Apple and Microsoft. I mean, we're still short tech. So, look at this. So anyway, I don't really want to talk too much about anything else because it's the same thing every day. And at this point, I want to be a little bit more active with tickers. So again, in terms of how we're going about options and travel, transition point is possible here today, going into tomorrow. So I think something like CCL, I think it's better if we do get a little bit more active and individualistic here. If this is coming in at 29.42, the trend line comes in at about 29.90 today, so about $30. Yeah, I mean, if you entered here or you entered here, you gotta set this up. I would say transition trend line. Certainly transition on the trend line. Is that from open today? Possibly from open today into the trend line. Transition, so take profit, and then be patient to look for that new entry. So realize this gain here. Again, this should be 100% plus gain. You got to take that home. And again, I would like to put it would be the best thing would be if it got rejected and pulled back for Friday entry, for a Friday open entry to push through the weekend because we'd get a better price. I don't know if that's going to happen because if the S&P starts to get going today, it's going to bump the base up on everything, which this might already be doing. It's not now. It's at 29.5. I think you got to transition things today so that you can have a better you have a better mindset going into tomorrow, because some of these, again, you're going to want to probably do it tomorrow. Again, the biggest question is how do we add more to those positions that are doing well? How do I re-enter a trade that I've taken profit on? How much should I put in terms of sizing on those that I've taken profit on? These kind of things are what's important because, again, these are the sectors that have been doing very well. We're going to continue to trade what's doing well and fucking getting us paid and not try to make something else that hasn't started yet and that we're hoping will make a move. You don't trade on hope. You trade on the fucking price in front of you. we're going to try to realize these gains and try to get a new position that's going to pay us more as others start to understand it and goes into momentum. If we're understanding that the market is going to start to momentum trade value, then I want to be in options that are going to provide momentum. What are those? Those are going to be short term, a little bit out of the money, some exponentials on those contracts. I want fucking low deltas, some fucking gammas in there, whatever I can get. I want speed, not the drug. You sick? I don't know. Not speed. I mean, some speed on them contracts. I want them to get going. I want them to be not cheap and not worth anything, but I do want to be able to pick up quite a position that's going to make an exponential. Maybe not in the first moment, but that little bit of risk betting on others to come in. That's what I want. That's really what I want. So we're going to look for that. Here, on that note, give me 1 second here. Give me 1 second before the open. We'll see if I make it back. 1 sec. All right. Yeah, SKT jumped. SKT jumped, that's right. 21%. I don't want to gloat about that one, so that's why I didn't mention it. What am I doing with that one? I don't know. Pushing it for so far. Those of you that don't know, we've been in SKT for a while. But you don't want to trade things like this. It's okay. You want to be poor? You want your girlfriend to hate you? Your wife to hate you? She probably does if you're poor. You lazy couch potato. Greasy finger mobile trading right now. She thinks you're on the phone talking to someone else. Yeah, what do you guys want to do with your position? You're now minus $150, FYI. You guys have you got a value of, let's see, 1,800 in your position, and then you got like an extra $100 in cash. Let that thing go to zero. Let's do it. Okay. We continue. Again, what's today? We got Powell speaking. There's probably neutrality. S&P opening right on support. So yes, there's opportunity through the SPY. Is there opportunity on the Qs? Yep, right on support again. It's not breaking the support. We talked about it. All of those bearish tickers are for the case that, you know what? It's fucking Armageddon, and we're breaking the support. But guess what? We're on support. It's holding it. We talked about it for the last month. It's unlikely to break it. It is unlikely to break it. So what can we do? You can certainly take some risk if you want and put a short-term trade on there. What are we doing? We're trading value. That's what we're doing. Why? Because this might look good to you right here, but again, a lot of you keep fucking making the trade and losing money somehow. So just go trade the thing that trends, right? So coming off support? Absolutely. Why? Because the yields are increasing and Powell's not going to tell you to go kill yourself. Fed's going to continue to support. They're going to continue to support. Wish said I had to put you on a speaker for a week for my wife to believe you are not my girlfriend. That's what I like to hear. All right. That's what I like to hear. Now you're going to put your wife on the speaker so we know that you actually have a wife. That's a joke. It's a joke. Bad joke. You can call me your mistress. It's all right. Might find it a little weird that you do pay me, guys. Remember, it's not my job to pay you. You pay me. Remember that. Always remember that. So next time you send me a dumb comment or a dumb message, remember, you pay me. I don't have to pay you anything. I owe you nothing. I owe you nothing. I draw lines on the chart. That's it. You guys with fucking mental issues. We've all got mental issues. What do you want me to do? I'm not a fucking doctor. There's more some of you are doctors. Ask someone in chat. You need lawyer? We got JD in chat. You need a doctor? We got, what do we got? A neurosurgeon? Who else we got? I think we got a couple nurses. Fucking ask them. What are you asking me for? Fucking half your age, old man. Looking good to start. So again, we're getting the typical start here. In terms of individual tickers, again, that's where we want to be making the most decisions. Again, GE continues. Aerospace and defense. I talked about this. I've been talking about it. This is not going to be like travel. It's not going to be like travel where you could just keep getting into it on pullbacks. The problem with the aerospace and defense sector, something like GE here, is it's very hard to get into now. It's very hard to get into. So again, if you didn't take this trade and then you didn't take this trade, it's very hard to, because again, go look at the options, guys. I think a lot of you look at some of these marginal trades and you see like, well, it's not 10% like the other ticker. Yeah, 3.5% on GE is a little bit bigger than that little fucking $1 billion worth company that put 5%, 10% on, right? This is 100%. So on the options. So again, if you're missing some of these, it's very hard. So be careful. Those of you that are like, you did just wake up, you're related to Greg, these kind of things. Don't be making bad trades. Don't make bad trades, right? F continues. Again, this trend continues. What do we look for with trends? We look for the lows to continue to post another high. Those of you get shaken out on every single fucking candle, again, you got to grow a pair. Or for our ladies, you need to grow a pair as well and continue to push through if those lows are not being broken, especially if you have longer term contracts, right? SPR continues as well. We understand this trend line here as being again, we're within a channel on SPR, but we understand this trend line down here to be a bit of a understanding that, okay, we're actually above this consolidation and above this velocity. So we've now transposed back. What happens here? We're most likely to come into this channel, this trend line here. It's about 52.80 here today, 52.75 or so. Is that going to come into play today? If the market goes, a lot of these will. Again, that's what I mean about if you missed it, you missed it. RTX here, again, are sort of our more retail friendly. Again, we understand these levels here in terms of aerospace and defense. Once it broke that, it starts going. Again, I've said this every fucking day. It's I think now we can do clips on YouTube. So when I say clip it, someone just fucking clip it real quick. I'll pay you $10 for a clip or something. Or I'll do it. Fucking someone else will do it. Anyway, because it's true. You've heard me say it before, so that's the point. But it would be nice if we could just quickly be like, oh, I've said this. Here's the fucking clip from a week ago. That would be helpful for educational purposes because half the time I know I did something, but I don't know if I told you guys because I don't want to tell you all the secrets, right? That's like some of you just figured out that there's a difference between IWM and IWN. You're like, holy shit, there's a value fucking ticker? You gotta be kidding me. I've been trading the one that's got both value and growth the whole time? Yikes. I've been trading the Qs the whole time. I thought that was value. All right. Let's see. What are our thoughts on Visa and MasterCard here today? I think you're probably breaking through this. Again, this is tied to S&P quite a bit. You get a little bit of that demand, boom, through this sort of, it's a nice tightening. It actually is kind of a nice tightening considering we had the big move to start from the breakout. Again, we're above supply here. So we've now created a new baseline here of support. It's a great way to break through there going into the weekend as well. Retail stores continue, so things like GPS, seeing those move. Energy, again, our benchmarks, XLE and XLF continue here. So XLE continues. Again, if you're not a part of this move, then you're not a part of anything because I don't know what you're doing. Again, any trade on XLE, this whole entire energy sector ETF is a boatload on the options. Again, they're a little expensive, but again, it's a lot. One thing here with banks, what happened? We continue. So, I don't know, guys. Again, you're not a part of it. You're just not a part of it. Retail stores continue. Again, we're getting all kinds of different times when you get this gap up on retail stores. No, I would not be a part of this fucking Burlington BURL, but there you go. Further convergence on retail stores. Seeing it across the board. 4, catching up to Square Inc. and PayPal, which is interesting because they didn't have very good days yesterday. So big bounce back day today on the payment side. Fintech. Tallow continues, again, pushing this trend, not getting weeded out by whatever the selling is in there. Very important. SBLK through the converging supply levels. FANG continues. Again, I've talked about this chart enough. Again, if you're just missing trades, you're just missing trades. It's okay. TGI, our other aerospace and defense, through the level here, which this did this fucking instantly. So through to 18. Next level, 2045. How quickly? It could happen today. It's 13.5% away. That number doesn't matter. Probably could happen today. Probably will. So TGI, again, all of our aerospace and defense taking off. Again, if you weren't in position, go try to get one. Dare you to. Maybe I'll sell you some. You guys want some? Then hit me up on the landline. Anthem. What did I say about healthcare as well? If you don't get this move immediately, it's going to be almost impossible to. Even LSU typed in ANTM into chat. If you didn't get this move on the big boy healthcare and didn't listen to my spiel from months ago, and then when the charts finally came out, finally dropped them on you, you didn't take advantage of it, then you're not taking advantage of this service. I'm not going to tell you I told you so. I'm going to tell you you missed out. BHC continues again. Very nice trade through both of these trends. Understand what happens on these charts. And again, the coined phrase of breakout, consolidate, breakout, consolidate, breakout, consolidate, breakout, that everyone likes to say now. That's the way price works. Matt mentions lift. Lift continues. Did you need to get shaken out yesterday? Nope. Could you have taken a profit yesterday? Yep. Whatever you want to do. You want to take the 100% from yesterday? You want to turn it into 200%? It's up to you. Depends on what you bought. You can do both. Yep, it's doing the exact same thing. Consolidated the exact same way. It's going to break out the same way, right? Again, it's going to stay on the same, those charts, they stay on the same velocity. We can just keep copy and pasting the trend lines from before, right? Consolidates, copy and paste the trend line back over to the other side, right? Okay, let me bring it over to the average because we want to be watching demand. So again, came right off support. Oh, you guys are now back positive. You're up 110 bucks on the day. That means $40 overall. You get 2,100 or so in total. So you've still lost about $1,000 since the start on Cosa Nostra. Good job, guys. A lot of good trades going on over there. By the way, I looked. If you guys kept that NCLH trade, you would have been up about 180%. Pretty good. Good thing we got out of that one. Learning experience, don't worry. Growing pains in the Cosa Nostra account. Exxon continues. Again, what happened today? We had OPEC meetings, and guess what happened? Nothing. Woohoo. Nothing. Price keeps going. Crude keeps going. Reinflation. What's the bigger overall sentiment? That people are going back to work. The economy's opening up. They're going to need to spend fucking gas before we lose it. Lose it as in we're going to convert over to EVs and God knows what else is going to happen. Those continue. Let's take a look at our favorite dark horse, the Dow. A whip from close of yesterday into the open of today. Kind of cute looking. Again, the Dow is disgusting to look at. Does the same thing every single day. So until it does something different. Again, these candles are different over here. They are different over here. But yes, it does do the same thing every single day. Why is it the only index that they talk about on nightly news? I have no fucking clue. But apparently, old people are just random people that watch the news on their television at home. They probably have no clue what's going on in the market because if they're just looking at the Dow chart, then they must be so confused. Like, they just watch the nightly news. They must be so confused what's happening in the market. Because this is not what the market looks like. Imagine this is the only gauge they have of what the market right now. Because that's all the fucking news talks about. Yikes. A lot of different vibes out there. Tallow continues. Tallow trend line, this is probably important. 1230. 1230, again, if it climbs into the channel here, it's a new trade. And there's a lot of open space up there. See a lot of dark spaces up there. Don't see a moon, just darkness. Gush, continuing. We'll see if it breaks through the time. Again, big energy, continuing. Okay, let's see. Some of our meme economy tickers. Triple BY. We'll see how that does. Okay, the thing to talk about with retail to take advantage on short-term trades, right? Think about how retail trades, just like you guys know with your own mentalities. That's why I ask you guys questions. When the market's down, what do? You just sell all your fucking positions. So, meme economy, tickers, GME, AMC, Triple BY, you just sell them because the market's down, right? So these charts ebb and flow based on the market. If the market's going to be up today, what's going to happen on these tickers? They're going to get demand. You can short-term trade it, day trade it. Possibly you can push it over close, but most likely not. Take the 100% today. Don't remove those from the equation just because we're trend trading, right? Do not remove them. Let's see. You guys are back to break even, minus 60 overall. It's a cute account. Okay. terms of this forward chart, I don't think I want to do anything here. Let me show you, like, first of all, like Square Inc. I know some of you are going to go, well, Square Inc. bought Jay-Z's brand today. Yeah, it looks like it's getting some news selling, but guess what? It was going down yesterday, so don't need that news to give me a decision, because yesterday the decision made it. Get the relative reversal point, had to take profit. Entered this on Friday, had to take profit yesterday. Not immediately, nope, when it got to the relative reversal point. What's going on with PayPal? Let's take a look. What happened with PayPal? Oh, well, we had to sell because of 2 daily candles, relative reversal point. When can we enter it? I have no clue. No clue. Is there further downside? Who asked me this yesterday? Who asked me this? Was it you? Is there further downside on OSDK here? What does it look like? Look at the support down here. Trending down a little bit, right? Looks a little bullish. No. Looks bearish, right? Of course. You guys know. I don't have to tell you. I don't have to tell you if it's bearish. Problem solve. Use your problem solving. Use your brains. You don't even have to Google the answer to this one. Is this bearish or bullish? Is there further downside? Is it going to keep moving? Well, it's trending, right? If this chart was going to the upside, like over here, we would say it's going to keep trending until it tightens and does something else, right? Could it tighten right here? Yeah, it could. But we would see it, right? Price will tell you. I don't have to tell you. I tell you things, but I don't have to tell you that this is trending downwards, right? So again, you guys, I think maybe some of you just don't fucking trust yourselves. It's just the price in front of you. It's just price in front of you. There's nothing hidden. There's nothing hidden on charts. We all have the same information. It's just what we do with it, right? Take a look at the SPY. SPY's underneath this support. Oh, baby. Oh, baby, baby. Do we get the blood? This does. I'm kind of memeing because we do have some more support under here. But tech. Come on. 65 bearish charts. 65 breakdown charts. Is it time? I've got them all set up in the broker. Stayed up till 4 in the morning. Now some of you are like, oh shit, I didn't look at any of those charts. Oh shit. Ecto says, yeah, my dad talks to me about the Dow. Like you said, the news. Exactly. And no, not the news, not the band, not the news. Some of you are going, I have no idea. Is it crashing? Well, what do? We look at our macros. We look at our macros. Okay, volatility spiking a bit through here. Spiking a bit through here. Hasn't posted a higher high yet. What's the dollar doing? This should give us a good answer to understand the volatility. Oh, it hasn't broken back up through yet. Oh, okay. Still trending down? Yeah. So we do not have macro confirmation of anything. So no, you can chill for the time. And what's happening on your other positions? Well, value continues to grow. Aerospace and defense looking very good. We continue. They losing some points right this moment? Yeah, you just remove some market demand. What do you guys want to do with your position, by the way? You are now minus 110. On this position as a whole, from when you entered it, minus 160. You guys are now at 1,800. Let's see, where are we? Where do we pick up demand? Discovery continues. Everything holding value on value. Nah. Oh man, we're not crashing? That's too bad for some of you. I know some of you really want it. You really want it. I can feel it. Even the dark horse Dow. Apple and Microsoft right here. Apple and Microsoft right there. What do? We react. We react. We're tightening. What are we getting? We're getting volatility. Volatility is good for us. Wider spreads, more IV, more tail end risk. More of a payday if our contracts are in the money when we're buying from at the money. We're buying at a low IV. Our volatility is increasing. It's increasing our premium. Increasing our premium. You guys should be watching your positions right now. Even if it's now break even on the day, your premium should be increasing on your options. Otherwise, you're probably in the wrong position and you probably should have already been out of a position. Or if you're just pushing something long, then you might have already had a high IV and it's flat. So you're not really gaining much because it's already too long term. That's possible. That is possible. Bring it over here. Bond yields are continuing to go down. They're not continuing to spike from yesterday. Not continuing to spike from yesterday. Europe's basically break even. London's down a bit. Did very well yesterday. What's our highest volume traded ticker so far? GE. GE's our most active stock in the market. Okay. That sounds like value turning into momentum to me. Sounds like it to me. And again, those are big numbers on the options. All you have to do is go look at the options. Go look at them. You could have made, if you bought any March monthly contracts at close yesterday, you would have been up 100% today into the open on just buying something for just a GE from close yesterday into open today. You would have been up 100%. Imagine. That was from close yesterday. 100%. Close to open. 100%. You guys are sitting there going, oh, my positions. Okay, we've got tightening down here. Looking very much like a opening candle. Opening, pullback, tightening. Next 5 minute comes through. See how that turns here. But again, we're looking at macro signals. We're watching to see if this trend breaks. See if money goes into the dollar or not. When we look through volatility, let's go through, you can see how this is tightening up here. Let's go through the derivatives, right? Our movement indicators. Betting on more volatility through here. Again, this trend line is sort of this is not where the trend line is, but as we break this trend line, there's an understanding of, okay, we got some bets out here. The shorts, everyone's still trying to short volatility, of course. What's happening? Well, into when Powell speaks, there's neutrality. So some of you are still probably looking at things and going, okay, well, there's not going to be direction. There's not going to be direction. The direction's already been set. It's going to continue with the trend. There's going to be some volatility into what we are considering an event because Powell's going to either shut down the yields discussion or, again, tell you all to take the rope out. Take the rope out and end it now. We bet on Powell not saying that. We bet on Powell continuing to support the market, which if you didn't bet on that, then you're probably psychotic and have probably some issues and you do need to talk to somebody. If you do think Powell's going to say, fuck you guys, I'm done supporting you. It's not a child support discussion. That's not what it is. It's just a pretty straightforward idea of whether or not to continue to support the economy because of a yield spike. When he said last week that we're going to continue to support the economy, we said the week before that and the year before that. It's not a crazy bet because everyone already bet the same way. Reminder, everyone already bet. Everyone already bet. What are they doing right now? They're just not trading. They're just waiting. Everyone's just waiting. That's all. That's all that's going on right now. Neutrality. What was yesterday? Neutrality. People are just waiting. Everyone's just waiting. That's all. That's all it is, right? It's just waiting. We have Powell today. We have some numbers tomorrow. Just waiting. Why? Because you don't need to you don't need to get rich tomorrow. You don't need to risk it all to try to get rich tomorrow. You can make money over a year. Do you get mad at your boss for not paying your whole yearly salary this week? If he doesn't pay it this week, you're going to fucking kill him. Are you that insane? No. You make money over time, right? It's going to take some time. Value's taken quite a bit of time. It's taken quite a bit of time. It's taken a long consolidation through here. Why? Because now we've come into what we were betting on. But guess what? This here has just been continued. First of all, continued tension, momentum in all of our positions through this. Continue to trend through this average being seemingly consolidating on the average. But on our positions, we continue to climb, right? Continue to push. And we have new sectors coming in defense, right? Which we've been hot on, right? Again, those all continue. I mean, just imagine. I'm going to be watching this move here closely with Ford. Again, not everything is rosy. Tyson Foods, the chicken tendies. Oof. Oh. Holy moly. Holy moly. From here to here. DBX as well. What charts like volatility? DBX and SDC. DBX and SDC. Trend line is 23. Next trend line is 24.5. It only takes one trade. Is this the trade over here? Nope. That's not the one. How about DBX? That's the one. Anthem continues. Healthcare continues. Again. Oh, God, guys. What's bullish continues to be bullish. Twitter trend lines. Twitter trend line. Wonder what we should do around this. What we should do around here. What do you guys think about Walmart down here? Walmart becoming a fintech company. It's going to become a bank. I can't wait to be... I want to have Walmart be my broker. Going to be some big banks. Get a part of it. Get a part of it. Charts from yesterday. Let's take a look. AL through the level. OMF sitting right there. Faked a little bit from the open. That it was going to break through. EVR stuck underneath the consolidation level. TNK opened above, broke down through. You get this trend line from the flag. Now we'll see if it bounces there to go to the upside. It's an interesting chart. Interesting chart. IBN sitting here. Again, pre-market after hour action. MDXG, rejection on the resistance. Expedia, continuing to consolidate. Not expecting this to make an instant move, again, through the whole travel sector here. But I want to get the chart out because, again, we've been trading these for so long, and now they've consolidated. We want to catch the next breakout. It will be exceedingly obvious when the candle goes through, right? It's very obvious because, again, you've been consolidating, tightening back and forth, back and forth. When the move starts, you'll see it. You will see it. Take a look at the market. The average S&P continues the downtrend. Removed a portion of its demand. Removed a portion of demand. Is it treasuries? It's not treasuries, guys. It's not the yields. It's not the same thing. The yields spiked, causing it. This is not. This is downward. This is downward. What is it? A removal of demand? Neutrality. That's what it looks like. Some selling because of levels. You're underneath the level here. Are you guys not shorting tech right now? What do I say about Facebook? Fuck Facebook. Why does it do this? What is that? What is that? That looks like a resistance buy to me. Let me turn these red for you, because some of you see green. You go... Facebook's up 0.5%. It continues to defy logic on a lot of these. So we have to remove the stipulations there. Again, tech is down, down. Amazon, down. Now, it did break this level here. Am I prepared to say that this is going to come down here? No. No, I'm not. Not prepared for that. You do have this like last ditch level through here. Let me just put it in there so we know where it is. That's not what I wanted. That's not what I wanted. Okay. There you go. I would love fucking blood. Oh, come. Short tech, short growth, long value. Oh my God, are we gonna do it? Full rotation. Again, we're looking at the tech average, not the value average or the value tickers. Short tech, long value. Short growth, long value. Long value, short growth. It's not going to do it. It's just not going to do it. Come on. Come. It's not enough volatility, I don't think. And the problem is that the dollar hasn't even fucking budged. Unfortunate, because it's not yields based. It's not yield based. A little unfortunate. Because I would love for this just to fucking die over here. Just crash through here. Then you could finally say crash on this word. But it's not. It's just not. And the reason why I would be excited about that is because through this idea and through what we've been trading, they would certainly turn into the momentum. They would be the momentum trade. All of this shit, it already has that. If we rotated fully out of tech, oh my god, we would get quite the payday. Not that we already haven't. Not that we haven't already. Again, Ford's the only thing that I'm seeing that's really turned a bit here, but that hasn't broke the low yet. What time is it? It's 10:09. Shorts are through. We'll watch this. Let's watch this here because this could be quite the whip if it's going to do it. Otherwise, we're getting paid on shorts, which is not as sexy. Not as sexy. We don't have good timing. Again, those of you shorting, again, you have to be very sensitive. If you shorted from up here and this is bouncing, then you need to just exit it and get ready for another short down on the next level, for instance, right? If we're just looking at this chart as a short, okay, you pulled into resistance, you shorted, you pulled into support, you got to transition. Look for the next trade, right? You have to be sensitive because, again, these are big points and it's a lot on the short anyway. Especially on something that's not liquid. Something that's not liquid, you have to. As soon as it tightens like this over here, you have to just be out. If it then pushes back down through, right? Again, this could be just any ticker. Pushes back down through. You look for it to pull back into the resistance and make the move, right? That kind of transitioning and trading on puts, especially on something that's not as liquid, is very important. And a lot of times, again, you're just not going to be that liquid on the put side. Right now, it's a little bloated. If you're in major tickers, there's a reason why I posted a lot of tickers, and they're not major names because it's very hard to just continue to pile into puts on. People already had puts out there. We had big option volumes, right? And the problem is you don't have buyers behind you in the same way, right? Not the same buyers behind you. With calls, you always have someone buying more calls because they could just be hedging their long position. That's the big difference, again, between the calls and puts. There's calls out there just for hedges, right? Selling calls for hedges. So, again, it's people are not selling puts for the same idea of hedging because they're not doing this. The opposite doesn't make any sense, right? Doesn't make no damn sense. Doesn't look like it. See how much volatility goes. Those of you that are long vol, I would say the same thing applies to you in terms of your sensitivity. You can't go, well, I wonder why this is not up as much. UVIXI and stuff. Again, that just means you don't know the math, so don't trade it. Do not trade vol. If there's people in UVIXI contracts right now that are going, why am I losing money? Why am I losing money on my UVIXI contracts right now? This kind of thing, again, that just means you don't know the math. Some of you are looking at that right now and going, what's going on over there? Exactly. So just leave it alone. We're not doing a fucking lesson on vol today. Again, Transition. What did I say at open? What did I say about some of these positions? Transition. When are we looking to get back into these? We want to try to get it. The best case scenario would be to be able to get it at tomorrow's open. I don't know if we're going to be able to get the chance to wait into tomorrow on some of these because, again, the problem is that if something, so like for instance, right, we took profit on CCL from open, right? If we tried to force ourselves to wait until tomorrow's open, the thing I'm saying is there's probably going to be some sort of whip through here on the value side. And I don't know if you can wait through that because, again, if this is 5% here, that's a fucking lot of percent to wait for. It's just a little bit too much to wait for because the calls everyone just took profit. The same fucking people are going to go buy it again. And it's already bloated. It's already bloated. It's crowded. It's a crowded trade now. That's when it gets momentum, right? You gotta be able to buy pullbacks today on value. You have to be able to do it. Those of you that took profit on something like this here, you've got to be able to get back into that. You just took home the fucking money. You should be fucking feeling good. You should feel good about what you took profit on. You can't let that stop you from getting back into those trades and maybe even increasing your sizing in some cases, right? You've got to be able to just fucking trade. You have to trade. So, again, some of you are going to make the mistake here today that maybe some of you didn't even get to take profit because you were picking your nose and, I don't know, your wife was nagging and you couldn't trade or something. I don't know what the fuck you're doing. Or who knows? But the point is, you have to be able to now get into those trades. You got to. Why wouldn't we get into the trade? Well, if the fucking market, if tech did break through here and did the win to zero idea, then we would wait till tomorrow. We want to wait until tomorrow if we can. We want to. That's the plan. But if price offers us the pullback buy right now on value from positions that we took profit on. Now, a lot of them are being pushed, right? A lot are being pushed because, again, a lot of our positions are not losing value on a long term, especially on the contracts, right? But you got to be able to buy. Got to be able to buy. No one's betting on volatility right now. It's just getting shorted and shorted and shorted. Continuing to get shorted. Derivative gives nothing. Derivative is giving nothing. Absolutely nothing. You got to be able to buy, boys. You got to be able to buy. Again, not fucking tech and shit like that. Value. Twitter if it's on the trend line, right? Twitter if it's on the trend line. But this turns into, due to its ties, most likely an opening buy. Most likely everything is turning into an opening buy on value already, right? In terms of tickers that are a little bit in the gray zone, that gray neutral area, a lot of that, again, is going to come back to our fucking rules. What's our rules? We have a candle that pulls into support, daily candle, red candle pulling into support. We buy from the open. Tomorrow is Green Day Friday, boys. Risk Friday. There's going to be a lot of chances tomorrow, so you don't need to force your hand today, right? Those of you that, let's say those of you, which I can, based on probability, a lot of you probably took profit on your positions from open. Besides like energy and REITs-oriented tickers, I'm guessing a lot of you fucking took profit from open. I know you guys. You guys are going to sit on your hands and wait, be patient, and most likely that means waiting till tomorrow. You can miss a few points. Most of you should be waiting, right? Those of you that are a little bit more, you're better at executing in terms of time. So experience matters. You're going to be able to buy some of this pullback here going into Powell speaking, and when Powell speaks and the market starts to fucking rocket, you're going to make money. Yeah, you're going to make money. So, again, it comes down to being able to execute the trade. And again, if you weren't able to make the trade before, I don't know why you'd be able to make it now. You need to just be patient, right? Be patient. Again, you've got all fucking year. You don't need to make a miracle happen right now. You don't need to buy at the very bottom. You don't need to buy at the bottom. That's why people are trying to make tech happen, but it's not going to happen. We're shorting tech. You're not going to make it happen right now, right? So many people want to make it happen. It's like what I wanted to do with Tesla 2 days ago or whatever. Not following my rules just to make it happen in the moment. No, that's not trading the chart. That's trying to trade other people for no reason, right? Stick with the idea, value over growth. Again, if you're in the right positions, you're in Anthem or something right now, right? You're gaining points right now. You're gaining points right now on your options, right? Those of you that are on the right side of the market, it never feels bad, right? Again, it's half and half, right? Half the market's buying, half of it's selling. Again, you're in energy. You don't feel good. You don't feel bad. You feel good. You know what 1% is on the XLE here? Go look. That's why I gave you guys a hard time when I looked at the profit section yesterday, because I could tell that you guys were not in the positions. You could just tell. Because you would have had unrealized. You would have had a lot of unrealized. Now, not everyone needs to post in there or something, but those of you that do because you want to be critiqued, that's a part of it, because I can tell the difference between looking at the average from what we look at and then comparing your positions. I could tell a lot of you were not within those moves. You weren't within any of the aerospace and defense, because if you were, you would have had at least 100%. I saw like 2% in there, 1%. That means you were not a part of a lot of those moves, or you only put a very small size in because you're not confident. That's where it becomes price watching. If you only put 1% of your portfolio into a trade and that's all you gained on, you gained 100% on 1% of your portfolio. Yeah, that's only fucking 1% you gained on the day. Yeah. Wasn't that a waste of time? If you made 100 of those trades, sure, but if that's your only trade you're going to make, that's again coming down to you're not confident. You'll gain that. Just make the trade anyway, even if it's a small trade, because that will build up confidence and experience. That's fine. But you guys know if that's you or not, right? You're trying to build up experience in that. That's fine. Fucking just not losing money is fucking perfect when you're starting out, right? And you're making the trades, getting better, learning, getting through that learning curve, right? But, some of you are just price watching. And I do just want you to make trades. And you would be a part of that sort of demographic of people that are, you're only putting 1% on the trade. You could gain 100% on it, and you only gain 1% of your portfolio. But that's great, because you're learning something, right? You're learning something. That's fine. No one's going to shit on you. And when I talk about that, I'm not shitting on you. Because, again, I don't fucking know what you're doing anyway. Just critiquing as a whole. Critique myself. Talking to my goddamn self. Not talking to you guys individually unless I'm saying your name. We got Powell in an hour and a half. Again, the energy side continues. So you obviously need to stay in your lane. Like I said yesterday, you need to stay in your lane and not be looking at... You can't go look at the NASDAQ if you're in fucking energy and be trading off of that average. Doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. So again, depending on your positions, you need to keep that all in mind. How many of you shorted this morning? Did anybody short? Anybody use any of those tickers that I posted last night and short those? Anything at all? Or are you guys more sticking towards the sidelines for the moment? Curious. Because it doesn't, I can't really tell in terms of volume. It doesn't really feel like there's much volume in terms of a lot of these. And usually I can see some of you guys. Nobody. Ecto says I tried but pussied out. Okay. That's fair. That's fair. Sidelines. Okay, sidelines work. Sidelines work. That's a part of the plan. Maybe here, let me put the tickers into the watch list for you so that you guys can see. I think maybe the problem is that let me load these up for you guys to show you. Oh, what did I just do? I just fucked something up on the stream. Sorry, guys. Don't know what I clicked. You'll be fine. Here, give me 1 sec. I'm gonna load up a file here to put the. Here, I'll put this over. I'll put the overlay on so you guys can't see. Import. Let's see. Import list. Desktop. Open. There it is. Okay. Here we go. Here's the short list. Here's the short list for today. So here are the tickers that I posted last night. The 65 tickers I posted last night are these ones. There's only 3 that are green. 2 are break even and 1 is green, up 5%. So 62 of them are red, and you would have made money on shorting. 62 out of 65 is a pretty good number in my book. In terms of posting 65 tickers to short and only 3 of them are green, that's pretty good. Now, what are the big boys? Skills from the trendline break. Very important to be able to, obviously we took this trade, but this movement here, very important to be able to see that. Now, you're not going to, I don't have trend lines on all of these, but I do want to show you some of these in terms of their moves and show you the percents especially. Fake Neo. What's that look like? Yes, that's right. All of the patterns are on that list, and you can go see them. And you can find them and draw them yourselves because you guys know better by now. You're going to see some names on here that are pretty bullish that we've been trading. Why? Because we know where the levels are so we can trade it. It's important to be trading tickers that we're comfortable with. Now, I know there's too many lines here and you can't see well, probably on your little mobile devices. You got to be able to trade. What about MJ? Oof. Weren't we long pot stocks? Oof. Yikes. Gonna short on a day like today? Just shorting for a day trade. Just quick 100. A quick 100. 100%. Quick 100. And maybe next week we'll be long again. Yeah, sometimes it does break the rule of don't go long, then go short, then long, short. Sure, that's fine. Every now and then. What about DocuSign? Oh, don't you have a big long-term DocuSign? Yeah, until it broke my big fucking macro trend. It broke my macro trend. It got kind of bearish. It's tied to tech. Now, it did pretty well to start. But guess what? Tech has been bearish. So, yeah, of course, we're short tech. There you go. There you go. Where's my SWI trend line? Oh, well. SWI is always very clear on the long and short. again, there are shorts. If you want to remain on the sidelines, then you're prepping for your long. You're obviously prepping for your long, or you're managing your long trades. Again, energy just keeps going. There's trades out there, so I'm not going to beat a dead horse, but rotations are happening. And again, if you can be on the sidelines for shorting, but you can't be on the sideline for your long value trades. So again, if you're not taking advantage of the moments as they come, it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard because you're fighting over scraps. Not scraps, but you're gonna be in a crowded trade with others, right? You're gonna be in a crowded trade. You're gonna be in a crowded trade by buying a little later, trying to chase momentum. Is Powell gonna say anything bad? Is Powell gonna tank the market? That's the bet right now. It is wrong. It's just wrong. On the equity side, but again, it's because the equity side, people aren't shorting on the value side on equities. They're doing it on tech, and it's just bringing an average down of demand. The demand's being removed a bit. So you're down 1%. You can look at like the Russell 2000 and be like, oh, it's down 1%. Again, it's taking it out of context. Taking it out of context. But Dawn, I don't want to make that trade. It's not sexy. Trading banks, energy, REITs, it's not sexy. Those are gross. Ecto says, I've been having this mental block where if selling off is an immediate open, the possibility of shorting leaves my mind, and I don't notice until it's too late. Remember, it's very much, I don't like to invert charts, and I think it's a bad practice, but the mentality of it might work for some of you. Think about when we're going long from open. What do we get from open? We usually get a situation. Let me see if I can find like a space where I got no candles. We get a situation where you're watching your, let's say, 5-minute candles, where you've got one pullback candle. These are 5 minutes, and then you get one tightening candle, and then you get a candle that's moving, right? This forms like 15 minutes of time. Usually you get some sort of variation of this, right? Some sort of variation. It could be tightening here, and then it goes to the upside. You have some sort of variation like this, right? Where it's some sort of pullback, tightening, and then to the upside, or it's upside, tightening, downside, right? And you make a decision based off of that tightening. It's, again, the same way from if you're shorting. So if this is our resistance level here, and price opens, goes into the resistance, comes off the resistance, then you're shorting. This could be 15 minutes, could be 30 minutes. This could be not until 10 o'clock. Maybe 10 o'clock finally hits and it doesn't. You don't get to do anything until that happens. Until it hits a level. Or if price is over here, let's say you've got a support underneath you, and I'm doing this because nothing's happening. You open above the support. Let's say price opens, it's trading a bit flat, all right? It's trading over here a bit flat, and then it starts to go to the downside. You wait for it to break that. Once it breaks that support, then you can short. Now, what do we like to talk about? Really, the best way to get confirmation of this is that when it goes through, you like it to pull back. So it was support, now it's resistance, right? Now it's resistance, rejection, and then short to the downside. You prefer this confirmation, turning it into resistance, right? Over just this, but if this is momentum and this has got velocity through, then you take that as soon as it breaks, right? This could take some time. It certainly could. I know it's hard if it's not immediate, but I think if it's immediate, it's also hard to see. It's also hard to see because it's too quick. And I think a lot of you actually have that problem on the upside, where price opens and then it just fucking goes through and you guys miss it because it's so quick. The options have already fucking priced it, right? Options already priced it. If you didn't get it off the first tick, then I mean it's too late at that point. So you do like a little bit of more time, and you just have to stick with it, right? Stick with it and just follow this idea of a lot of times you're looking for a confirmation. And a lot of times, again, the one thing that's always constant, is that you're going to get tightening in price, that equilibrium of price. And usually it's, again, we see it every single time where price will come down, start to tighten, and then it continues, right? Tightens and then continues. You look for this tightening, whether it's to the downside or to the upside. Whatever this tightening here leads to, whether it's downside or upside, you're looking for that direction after it tightens. What is tightening? Just trading flat, right? When it trades flat. You don't need to be perfect. It doesn't need to be perfect, right? It doesn't need to be perfect. You can miss 1%. You're going to lose some. Like, you're going to lose some off the top. But it doesn't need to be perfect. You know, price starts to move to the downside and you're like, oh, shit. It doesn't need to be perfect. You just need to realize that you're going to need to choke up a little when it comes to taking profit. Once it starts to move and you see as soon as it starts to tighten, just take profit because you're already a little late and you don't have as many points to protect you, right? As if you had like a perfect entry. We chase perfection, and a lot of times we don't capture it. But we want to be as close to perfect as possible. That's what all the fucking work's for. You ever heard of a doctor, a surgeon go, well, it's good enough. Good enough. Yeah, we try to get precision. That's what you spend all the fucking night looking at charts for. Looking at price. You guys know what the SPY and the Qs and IWM look like now on the candles. Do that for the individual tickers you're trying to trade. Learn what the price looks like as it trades. How do we know that this was going to happen here and that this was going to happen here? We know what the candles look like. We know where the buyers and sellers, what they're doing within this space because we watch it every single day. We have the pattern recognition down. We understand what the move is going to be. Again, based on the levels, you can almost always know what the next candle is going to be, at least, how it's going to develop, what to look for to see if it's going to change. You want to get that level of understanding on individual tickers as well. If you can only do that on 5 tickers, then just look at those 5 tickers and try to trade those 5. If it's not there, it's not there. Again, it might be only 20 trades a year on an individual ticker that actually present themselves for like some sort of swing trade. Yeah, you could just day trade and scalp every fucking candle if you wanted, but just not as sexy, all right? Not as good. But yeah, it certainly comes down to preparation. And it certainly removes a lot of the anxiety. If I feel confident that I've looked at enough charts and understand enough, then you feel a lot more calm. You can make decisions better. I know when I'm feeling a bit more anxious because I don't know, went to bed early, was fucking tired, didn't want to look at anything, didn't want to do anything. Said, I'll just continue doing what I did yesterday. Then I start making dumb mistakes. Takes a lot of work. Hey man, I just want a little bit of additional income, okay? I don't need all that psycho stuff, okay? Then just do that. It's fine. Don't need to look at every chart on the index or every chart trading on the exchange. Don't need to. Facebook does not. It's funny. Everything's obviously bouncing right here, but all of that supply in here, all of the support, hodling. Now, is it going anywhere? No. It's gross. It's back and forth every day. You're not gaining anything. You have to day trade. No one wants to do that. So no, look at it. It's disgusting. So, first of all, the truth is that it's bad. But it is cute and funny. It is cute and funny. Oh man, guys, Armageddon didn't happen. Sorry. Could have happened tomorrow? Maybe. Happen over the weekend? Maybe. Who cares? Who cares? Who cares? Who cares? Get aboard the death boat. Death boat, death boat. Anyways. Give me one sec, guys. All right. Let's see. So 12:05, we get Powell. It's gonna be during lunch. I'm not gonna sit here and listen to him. He's gonna say the same things. We don't need to have a viewing session. It'll be lunch anyway. It'll be a little bit lower liquidity, low volume. KNX. How much movement do we get out of here? Trend line is quite a ways away. EVRG breaking through. This would be interesting. Hasn't done it. But this sector is disgusting, so possible. GT continues. GT continues as usual. Dollar's still not breaking through. On the yield side, Yields continue to be stopped, held, continue to go back down. Dow and S&P are green. Crude, all reinflation. Reinflation. So we are green on the Dow and S&P. Value, green. S&P even being held down by tech is green. So again, that value side of S&P, those big energy companies, oil companies, holding. The dirty Dow. Dirty Dow. Brian says, I bought a put, the market goes up. A little late. When Ecto asked about Mentum block of if it's not selling it open and you can't short later, maybe a little too late on the short. Maybe a little too late. We don't trade past fucking 10 o'clock, that's for sure. That's a tough one. Tough break. You won't do it next time. Does anyone know if... So Brian just says, does Dow count... Does IBM count as a Dow buy? Does anyone know if IBM's in the Dow Jones? Anybody know? And again, it's DJI. If you do Dow, that's Dow Chemical. Does anyone know if IBM's in the Dow Jones? I don't know. I'll have to fucking Google that. Don't know. Let me take a look at IBM. How are we looking over here? Break even. That's good. I don't know. Looks like if it breaks out of that resistance, could be something. Could be something. I talked about it the other day, so just to give a real answer. We talked about it when it was down here. The thing to use with IBM are, we look at the candles. So we don't have direction, right? We understand that it's likely that it's indexed and that those other tickers that are very related, not so much its sector, but has relation, is doing well. Now IBM is fucking done nothing for the last year and a half, right? Done nothing. Now, we still understand that, sure, support, resistance, whatever. Nope, on this chart, what do we use? We use bullish candles, and we need a breakout. We need some sort of break here. If you're going to trade IBM here, it needs to fucking move before you can do anything. You can't trade it when it's just doing nothing. If there's no volatility and there's no price movement, you can't trade something. If it's just sitting here like this, you can't trade it. Yes, it's a part of the Dow Jones, and sure, we're using it as a bit of a meme, but it's also that entire index is probably going to be up. So that's not so much of a meme. You can't go trade IBM by itself. You can't go trade it by itself. It's a part of an average. It needs to make a move first. What would be the move? I mean, whether it's this 125.25, whether it's this 123 needs to break, just need to see a fucking trend get started and not swinging back and forth. So IBM is garbage. It's a dog. It's a dog until there's volatility. When is that volatility coming? It's that bet that value is going to turn into momentum. Again, we're seeing it on a lot of these charts, right? It's turning into momentum. That's what IBM needs. It doesn't have it right now. So no, you just leave it alone, right? We just completely leave it alone. Nothing to see there. Just because it's a part of it. It's like saying, again, it's we're talking about very specific things within the Dow Jones, but I'm still betting that, again, it's going to be higher as an average. But again, Apple, Microsoft's in there, and we're short tech. So obviously we don't mean every single one. We're talking about individual tickers. We're active. We trade individuals. So IBM needs movement. It's a dog until otherwise. Okay. So, let's see. IDM climbing back into the trend line again. You didn't have to buy the idea of this dip here or anything. You don't have to do that. Did you get stopped out of this? Nope, most likely not. Because if you're selling this, then you probably already took profit anyway from the move yesterday. You're likely just continuing to push your position. And again, you would have very likely already sold if you were going to sell. I couldn't imagine anyone get stopped out. Possibly, I guess, but I don't foresee that. So this would be kind of one of those charts that's in between, because we don't really have a place for it other than, we've included it into the EV space, but EVs have been getting beat up because they're tied into tech quite a bit. But F and G have been doing very well. So I would imagine this is a little bit more of active decision making based on your position. If you had short terms, you of course took profit. You had long terms, you've continued to push your position. You probably actually got some premium, a little bit of benefit of premium in there. The GM side, GM, you likely get stopped. Unless you bought from Friday. Do you re-enter it? Yeah, you re-enter it on support. Yep. You re-enter it. Because we get out of positions does not mean we don't get back in them. We get back in. See, Ecto's asking a long question. I don't know if I want to do that right this second, but I don't really have anything else to do. So let's take a look at Ecto's X trade. Now, I don't even need to read what you said here. To start things off, we buy on Fridays. We swing it between support and resistance. And so just following the rules, that's the answer. But anyway, let's dive into whatever we got here. I sold at the initial break of the 19. So when it came back down. You bought when it went back through? Okay, so you did it opposite, Ecto. If you sold because it went through the level and then bought because it went back down through the level, then you're opposite. That doesn't make any sense. So I sold at the initial break of the 19 resistance. And bought when it passed back through the 19 45 minutes later? Or are you saying when you bought back when it came through? You bought this over here, 10 a.m. Okay, you sold, you bought. Yeah, you don't I don't know what, that doesn't even, I don't know. You sold when it dropped below. Okay, yep. Makes sense. But you re-entered here. That's fine. And then you sold when it came back through again? It's too much trading, right? You entered from over here. You had entered down here, right? You entered from Friday. Bought back in when it broke back through. Okay. You sold. You bought. And you sold again over here, or you held it over here? Why did you sell it this time and not this time? You gotta stay consistent. Because if you're gonna be in from this position here and take profit when it comes through the level, okay, well then that's again, well there you go, you already answered your question. Why would you sell here and not here? If you sold here, why didn't you sell here? If the answer is I didn't place a stop, well then that's exactly your answer, right? It's exactly your answer. If you're getting sold here, then why are you not selling here? Doesn't make sense not to do it both times, right? Got to do it both. Now, again, this position, I'm guessing you had entered down here from Friday. I'm guessing that's where you had entered. That's a perfect exit. This wasn't a true rejection. So if you entered from Friday, I'm just guessing you entered from Friday. So you entered from Friday, you pushed through, Monday happened. It wasn't a true rejection, so you held it into Tuesday. You held it into through these days, and then yesterday it broke down through again. So you said, okay, we're not breaking through, so I'm going to take profit. That makes sense. The re-entry, no, it doesn't make sense to re-enter because if you held it through here, look at what you did here. If you had from over here, this first rejection or this first stop against the resistance happened, and it came down to about 18 and a half. And you held it. Price then went through, and it came back down through, and you said, now I have to exit this time. If you were willing to hold it down here, then why can't you hold it here? And why would you re-enter here? You just paid now twice the average that you paid down here. If you're going to hold here, there should be, again, you either sell because of the rejection against the resistance, or you're holding to then get stopped out. You don't get to decide that, okay, this time is different. This time, you know what? I'm going to sell here. You did change the system. Now, I think that's completely fine to exit there. You held through, but to then just re-enter over here, and it doesn't really it's not consistent, especially since you didn't keep it consistent here, which tells me you're not like following the same discipline each time. Because if you didn't sell this time, then you probably believed that you could just continue to push it anyway. This level down in here, I think this does screw some of you up. It's a zone in here, right? You have a bit of a zone here. How far is this from resistance, right? It's about 2.5%. This difference here on your options is fucking big, right? It's a big difference. And so again, you either need to be selling when this is coming off the resistance the first time to capture this whole gain here, or if you're holding it all the way down to here, then you cannot be you can't then all of a sudden change up the course, because if you're willing to hold it down to here, you need to be willing to hold it down to here, right? Now, would that have gotten you into trouble later? I mean, it is kind of weird to buy here. I would say. At lunchtime to buy through the break here is a little weird. It is a little weird, I would say. I would say for this trade, if it's short terms, you take profit the first time it comes into resistance. And if you take profit on this move here, you can't be buying 20 minutes later over here on a new position that you just took a big profit from here. It's got to be consistent. It would need to now be a new trade. And you're not making a new trade. You're just getting into the same trade because you feel like you made a mistake getting out already. It's too crowded over here. You're going back and forth. Stick to the rules. You bought on support, you sell on resistance, or you need to just stick through the trade, which again, you would have got stopped out, right? You would have got stopped out somewhere in here because it didn't continue. But trying to enter a new trade, now you're asking hard questions, right? It's like that question is difficult. It is difficult because it's like, now I got back in, so now do I exit? Yeah, you would have needed to sold here at the support this time, right? As soon as it broke through, you exited. Which makes it, again, you would have bought this pullback though. If you're making that trade, just my last point, if you're making this trade where you get stopped out here, you would be buying here. Why did you wait 2.5%? Why did you wait until the level? Why did you wait to buy at the fucking level here if you could have just bought on the pullback? If you were going to do it anyway, why didn't you buy down here? If you knew price was going towards the upside, the only reason you bought here is because you thought price was going to the upside. Then you would be buying here on the pullback to begin with. As soon as that tightening started to go bid, you would have bought here, and that would have protected your trade. So again, that's where you need to be buying on the pullback. You can't wait 2.5%. That's already like 50% on the contracts. It's already like 50%. You have to be buying on this here if you get sold out here and you wanted to re-enter, because that's where you get a better average. Otherwise, you're paying a worse fucking price here. You're paying a much worse price here. That's not how we trade. We don't trade like that. And especially, you don't sell here and then not here, right? What do you do here? You buy here. You don't wait for it to come back up to here to buy it. You can't do the well, we buy on the level thing. No. That certainly not, right? JJR mentions RSX through the 2544. Again, this trade, you got to take the trade as soon as it's there. You have to take the trade as soon as it's there because this trade's all pre-market after hours. You're going to be jumping around too much. This is fucking, again, wouldn't be making these trades if you don't know how to trade trends and bad discipline. I mean, it's got rejected at resistance. I don't know if it's not a flag, but got rejected at resistance here. And then if you're saying there's one intraday, I mean, don't stop, Brian. You got to stop doing that. You got to stop doing that. That's just bad habit, really bad habit to be going, oh, bear flag. You got to stop doing that. It's those of you that also do this, where you're seeing, because you have pattern recognition now, and your pattern recognition's going off all the fucking time. It's just in your head, it's clicking off all the time. And I got to stop doing this thing with the cursor. If you see a bear flag here, yeah, I know what you mean. But you have to remove that from the intraday sort of things. It's 11 o'clock. It's 11 o'clock. Yep, it looks like there's two trend lines here. 1, 2, downtrend. Great. Just because it looks like that does not mean it's going to break down until you get a candle that breaks that trend line. What you should do is if you see that, you can draw it. But it's nothing. It's nothing until something actually happens with price. And because what's going to happen is some of you are getting good at pattern recognition now, and you can just go onto any chart and you see it immediately. What's going to happen is, I've also told you to look at charts through the lens of trading. That's going to start popping in your brain, and you're going to start to make really bad fucking trades because you're going to start to make the trade before it's actually there, and you're trying to make like intraday fucking patterns happen. If this breaks down, great, perfect. Until then, you got to remove it because it's going to throw you off. I'm going to throw you off. And again, are you going to take that short right now anyway? No. You're not going to. I know you're not going to short it here. Because why didn't you short it from the open then? So again, it's one thing to see it, and we can talk about it in terms of that. But for you especially, if you're not going to short it from the open, you're not going to short it here. So you got to remove it because it's not, again, it's the same as other traders. Are other traders going to short it through here? Probably not. It's probably not going to happen. So again, it's got to be, there's a reason why there's a difference between like the daily and intraday, and also the market as a whole here. I know a lot of you are getting caught off with these fucking ideas because you're seeing it, but it's, again, it doesn't need to happen. It doesn't need to happen. What about this bear flag? Why didn't you short it from here, right? Those sort of things. Keep that pattern recognition tingling thing in the back until something happens, and then react to it, because a lot of you don't actually execute trades anyway. You guys see something and then don't execute it. Don't see it if you're not going to execute it, right? It's price watching, and you're trying to you're starting to use different. You're seeing things like that, and then there's times when you're not taking the trades, and then sometimes you will, because you'll be like, oh, I found one. I'm going to go do it. And then it's not even breaking down, or it's not even breaking out, right? It's got to be, yeah. You know what I'm saying. Definitely, yeah. I see it. Sure. Okay. But you know what the market's doing right now? What's the market doing right now? It's pulling back and pushing to the upside, right? So is it a bear flag, really? Right? And that's where, again, where if you're doing it intraday, usually there's a fucking problem. Usually there's a problem because you can do that a lot. You can do that a lot, and it's not the case, right? It's just not the case. And that's where you see it, but it's not the reality because there's so many other fucking reasons why those technicals are not true. It's just a pullback, building confidence or something. It's trending up. You could say it's an uptrend. Doesn't even need to be a bearish pattern, right? Fang continues. This was sort of an opportunity here today through this tightening here. Through the tightening, again, we look for tightening and then you look for which direction it is. It could go down, could go up. Again, when you see it, what you're looking for are the trend lines, the converging trend lines. You're just looking for converging trend lines, and then you let the market make its decision. This one broke out, so then you could take the trade there if you weren't already in a trade. That kind of understanding, of course, right? Tallow continues. Again, there's the trend line. Called it out a little earlier. We'll see if that climbs in today or not. Is that a transition point? Most likely for anybody that, again, if you entered on this pullback down here, that's absolutely. Realize your gains, take home the money. JGR calling out a bunch of the big names, of course. XOP, XOM, all of the oil, energy, right? Big energy companies. ET. Bada bing, bada boom. Again, not a surprise on that side. Not a surprise and we just keep pushing. And now again, some of you do need to go. Some of you still have not looked. You need to go look at the options for like XLA, for instance. Just go look at them. Some of you still have not looked, and so you keep not trading things because you don't think it's like there's like as much to gain. You think it's like some ticker that I don't know, all kinds of different weird things. There's a lot of points to pick up on these kind of trades, right? It's like you have no downside. There is no downside. So again, if you're offered risk-free trades, you got to take those trades, right? You take those trades. And they're so tied into macro things. That's why there is very minimal risk. You're not gaining as much of an exponential because a lot of people are making the trade, but your downside risk is reduced because of that macro side, right? Which is easier to understand than on the technical side, right? It's not as sharp. It's dependent on flows. It's a little bit easier to manage. Let's see. Okay. This KO chart and whatever's going on over here, we have to figure out. We like retail stores, and then especially on the food and beverage side. KO is a little bit a part of that, and then it's also on the distribution side. We've had some of the distribution sector not doing very well recently. Was doing well. This is tied into nothing, I would say. It's tied into nothing. It is its own ticker. I see a lot of open space, not much supply. If it breaks, I don't know really what the level is. 51 something, and then up into here, 51 and a half or so. Somewhere in this range, somewhere in that 51 to 51 and a half range, there's opportunity. I talked about taking this trade over here, didn't take it. Probably could have got this from open today. I do want to be a part of this trade somehow. This price feels very wonky. Feels, There's just something there. There's just something there. Don't know what it is. Something there, though, opportunity-wise. So, and then you look at something like this, right? Pepsi, the competitor, look at this chart in relation, right? I think that offers a lot of opportunity. Not this chart, but the opportunity on that KO chart, right? And again, that there's like something, some fucking reason some of these charts are connected. Now, obviously, I know there's things connected with some of these charts, but again, look at these three: Bud, PEP, and KO. Look at those as three, as opportunity, something somewhere. There's something there. Something there. Just like, again, with like casinos, like LVS selling off its casinos and shit like that. There's a lot of COVID-related things that are big fundamental things, but that do cause direction because of speculation. Speculation of LVS getting sold, right? Bad consolidation, nothing happening. Speculation, it's selling off units, things causes speculation, can cause what we trade, reasons why we trade to start to occur, right? Trends, breakouts, these kind of things, right? Ryan mentions MRO. Big oil and energy continues. Gosh, broke through there. That bet now paying. I talked about this bet yesterday. I was like, shit, I should have took it earlier, but we get the chance. Those of you that remember this from yesterday, let me put on like a 30 or something. So from yesterday, felt like missed the opportunity to take a bet on what was going to happen with OPEC, and obviously, I mean, it's not like it was like you were betting on the underdog or something here, but a continuation bet, right? Continuation bet, using Gush as a leverage, using the lever when we can. And of course, we're just long on XLE, XOP, and all of the big boys. XOM, CV, all the good ones. Why? Because that's where we're at. We understand the macros a little bit better over there. I understand at least the macros a little bit better on the economic side, at least. So we take advantage of our competitive advantage where we have it. Otherwise, I mean, what are we doing? Let's see. Want to see what's going on with banks a little bit here. See what we get for a move. This is very, very institution heavy. We are due for this is setting up to a nice consolidation though. We are due for it. The pullback here does not really count. That's the start of it, right? That's the start of a consolidation. Leads to upside, but we understand this. We don't have a good... See, what's interesting is you don't have two converging trend lines or something here. So you're consolidating towards the upside bullishly, so you can continue to push long positions. That's the difference between if it started to come back down in here and you get two converging trend lines. You don't usually want to be a part of the consolidation. You want to be on the other side of it. In this instance, we can continue to push, but there is a point where, okay, you gotta realize some of that and wait for the next breakout to add. Tello is through the trend line. Looks like it's going to bounce on the inside. Confirm support. We continue. I'm going to take a look at some of the travel charts to show you what we're looking at in terms of these charts on technicals, right? So what did we do? We understood today is going to be a bit of a transition day on some of these charts. especially the ones that are coming into trend lines like CCL, for instance. So it took profit. You can re-enter here. I know Brian's going, this is a bear flag. Could be. But we buy on pullbacks. We don't get to decide, right, if it's going to be there or not. Now, it is tightening towards the upside. So you get a bit of a pennant idea in here, right? This tightening needs to make a decision towards the upside or downside. It could be either or, right? Could be either or. More likely, you're going to the upside as a whole. Could just spit out towards the side. Whatever it's going to be, right? It doesn't matter. But we're going to make a decision on that. If this breaks to the downside, what are we doing in terms of our plan? We're going to wait till tomorrow's open. Going to wait till our tomorrow's open. If it continues to the upside, then there's probably nothing besides a stop out. So if you entered this anywhere on a pullback, again, any chart, could be any name. You entered on a pullback here. If it continues to the upside, the only thing that's getting you out of this trade is getting stopped out. Today, at least. If it comes down here, you could take profit on the trend line break here. If it's a clear sell. If it's a clear sell, just to realize some of that and not get stopped. Because you don't see the problem here is that if you let it from here, the closeness of this point to wherever you entered here, it's very close. And so waiting for a stop out is just bad on the margin. If it's coming through here and then it comes back through, well, then you got a lot more fucking time to get stopped out, right? This closeness here, if it broke the trend line, you would just be taking profit, okay? We want to be a part of it. You would be waiting for tomorrow. You would not. There's a lot of different ways that this could turn into this pulls back and sits around, and then you're like, well, look at it's gaining here towards close. Nope, we're not going to do it. We're going to wait unless if it's an opportunity we can't, something we can't refuse, then sure. But we continue. So, I mean, again, the candle's not going to be perfect. Did that count? No, it needed to sell through. So it spit out a little bit, but again, you guys know what I mean. It needs to be directional. And again, Powell speaks in 1 hour now, 12:05. If the market starts to go bid because he doesn't say anything worrisome, then everything is, it doesn't matter. Tech, value, none of that matters from that moment. It's an average. We want to be a part of value. But at that point, you're throwing a dart. You could just trade anything. And it's one thing or the other. It's going to be one thing or the other, guys. We have a ton of volatility right now. The price is not going to just trade flat for the next fucking week. You could just straddle. Those of you that you don't know which way and you're fucking scared out of your mind, just straddle then. You could have straddled this fucking last 2 weeks and made a ton of money. You just take profit on one of the legs each time. Oh, upside, take profit on the leg. Downside, take profit. Oh, upside, take profit. Again, you could just straddle this entire market and you would be making plenty of money. You can still do it. It's not that, oh, big candles lead to more big candles. It's not that simple, but it's certainly an option. It's a strategy you could use. Now, that's if you don't have the capacity to just trade what's trending to the upside, right? If there's just something that's stopping you from being able to trade what just keeps fucking going to the upside, then that's what you would do, right? If you don't know how to handle, you only want to trade tech, you're fucking married to it, then just straddle it, right? Just straddle it. Go buy April straddles. That's it. And just go to bed, right? That's not very active. It's not. You're just going to go buy a straddle, and then you're done. You don't even need to you can come back in 2 weeks. You come back in 2 weeks. I'll send you a message. You'll make money at least, though. You'll make money. You go straddle every single one of these markets. Every single index. I guarantee you right now, any straddle you take right now will make money. I promise. I'll guarantee it. I will back your straddle. You guys send me the fucking screenshot. I will back it. come back in 2 weeks. Come back in 2 weeks. And if there's downside and you lost all your premium, I'll back the premium. You don't need to pay me anything. But again, that's always an option. I don't recommend it, but if there's like you literally can't do anything and you feel like you're trapped, you're not learning, you're not doing well enough, but you just need some money right now, you got to pay for, I don't know. You took out a payday loan that you owe in 2 weeks, put a straddle on right now with all your portfolio, every single dime you own. There you go. Are you going to make much money? I mean, it depends how much money you got. Depends how much money you got. 20% on $500 isn't very much. $20% on $1,000, getting better. 20% on $10,000. Oh, Ecto just linked. Stock market crash is trending on Twitter. Yikes. Imagine the entire stock market to you is just Apple. Or maybe not Apple, just the NASDAQ. Tech as a whole. Or maybe it's just Tesla. Maybe Tesla's just your average. I don't know. What do people look at? Just Tesla? Tesla's your entire market, right? For sure, the market's fucking done. If Tesla's not going up, Jesus Christ, we're fucked. But again, imagine if Twitter knew they could just trade other fucking tickers, right? It's really mind-boggling to bag hold. I've always talked about it to you guys. The biggest thing that you can remove from your downside is just holding things through the break even. As soon as your position goes red, get out of it. Stop out of it. It's like I fucked up my thing again. It's like the Cosa Nostra account. That's red right now. Just keeps going down. Just keeps going down. Let it bleed. Oh, God. Do you guys want me to roast somebody right now in front of everybody? You guys want me to do it? Type 1 in chat if you want me to roast somebody right now for ridiculous comment. Wow, no ones. No ones. Give me a sec. 1. Are they in here? They are here. They are here. They are here. Sorry about that. I keep switching between my thing on accident. It is. It is. I do not hold back. All right, guys. I'm sorry for who I'm about to call out, but I'm not going to give a name. If you just act normal, no one's going to know it was you. But this is the kind of shit I'm talking about. And I have no problem saying it because it doesn't really matter to me. All right, quote. I really don't like to search between all the channels to find the link every time I step out of my office and get back. There's a way to have it pinned somewhere. First of all, there's only one YouTube channel, and you can just go to the YouTube channel every time. And the fucking link is just in the channel. But it is the same thing every time. It's just like the pit. It's not a different Discord every day. It's the same channel every day. I promise. I promise. It's the same one every time. Brian says it's not me. FYI, it is Brian. Let me just say for all of you that don't know, and it's an okay question, but it is funny. It is the same fucking channel every day, I promise. It's one YouTube channel. The Unrefusables, we have one channel. It's only for you guys. We have one channel. It's not on a different channel every day. It's not on a different link every day. You could literally just go to YouTube and go to Unrefusables, and that's it. Just have it be a bookmark, whatever the fuck it is. It's like having to open up Discord and get the link. Or it's like having to go to Discord and click Pit of Exchange and go into the pit and then turn on the video. It's just as quick. It's just the same. Same thing. I thought that was funny. I know you guys get a crack out of me doing that, so there you go. Fib says bookmark. Exactly. Just get the bookmark. Bookmark or whatever the fuck it is. It's not different every day, though. You just type in YouTube and it'll be there. You don't even need a link. You can just go to the channel. Or even if you go to YouTube, it'll say, oh, look at one of your things are live. Right? And also, I have it in the... It's in there. It's in there. You can even click on my name, by the way. On my username, I just fucked it up. But if you guys saw earlier, on my actual icon in Discord, you can actually just click my fucking thing and it will go to you. It'll go to the YouTube channel. I turned it off just now on accident because I was trying to fuck with it to show you on the stream, but I can't do it. If you guys saw it like 10 minutes ago, on my actual thing in Discord, it said Donlog is streaming live. It said Donlog is streaming live, and you could click on it and it would link you right to the YouTube, by the way. So if you just come into Discord and you don't want to have to go to anywhere else, you can actually just click on my name and it does it for you. It's not showing it right this second, so not the best example. But it was. It was. I think a few of you did, because I think it sent me something. Oh, see, it's doing it right now. See? You guys see that? Go to Discord right now. Streaming, Pit of Exchange, open, 3/4/2021, live trading analysis. Click it. Click it. Click watch. There it is. You don't even need a link. You don't even need a link. It's on my fucking name. Don't worry. For whoever DM'd me, no names. Just for you, I'm going to send you a DM every day. I'm going to send you your own thing. And actually, you know what? I'm going to stream 24/7 and never turn it off so that you don't have to click a button. Beautiful, beautiful. Yikes, yikes. Long tech. Yikes. Okay. Nothing's changing. Continues. Again, what do you think is going to happen here? Again, this is where you can use your own, if I think this, then other people think this. What is retail doing right now? They think it's crashing. And what do they do every single day that it doesn't? They buy more. They've done it every time, right? If we look at just the SPY, crashing. Oh, buy everything. Crashing, buy everything. Crashing, buy everything. Yeah, even Facebook. Now, again, this is all stuck, so you can't trade it. Unless it got above the level here, it's really fucking hard to trade this. This is disgusting. That's just disgusting. It was disgusting before, but now it really hurts my soul. This is a straddle of a lifetime. You just take a profit on the leg each fucking day. Again, you should not be trading this shit if you're trading anything that's moving to the upside here. And again, in terms of shorts, shorts should have already taken care of your shorts. If you didn't, I don't know what you're doing. Can I short now? No. And yeah, like Ekta just said, the dance is getting repetitive. It absolutely is. And the more it happens, the more likely it is to continue to happen. That's what, and that's why we have to continue to stay in our lane and keep trading the same way, because otherwise, again, we're getting thrown off for other people's mistakes. It isn't. Why is it a mistake? It's because, again, if we are thinking of price as the value of something, then the value of this is not changing every day. The actual value is not changing every day, right? It's not changing. The price is changing every day because people are buying, and then, oh, we got to sell. Oh, actually, shit, I'm a buyer. Oh, fuck, I'm selling. And again, it's just selling. It's the same levels each time. Look at same levels each time. Continues to be the same. And this is the first time it broke down a little bit more, right? That's going to change things for sure. But we also know that there's also a reason why there would have been a little bit more, and maybe hedging into what Powell has to say in big numbers tomorrow. And we have not been bullish on tech for fucking a long time. A very long time. A very long time. Here's volatility again. Volatility didn't move. It didn't move, and we saw it from open. It's really important to realize that since this did not continue from open, that's all you need to do. What's going to happen? I bet this comes into Powell speaking, but it comes with Powell speaking. What's going to be important during Powell speaking is volatility, the dollar. See the dollar coming down? This is going to move with Powell, and the biggest thing, again, is yields. The only thing that fucking matters right now are yields in terms of a macro sense. Again, our individual tickers and the way we're trading, it's not so much tied into that on a lot of the tickers, and it doesn't change the entry timing or exits or anything like that. But certainly having an understanding of that is getting you paid at least more than the next guy, I would have to imagine. If you understood that a little bit more, you bought a little bit earlier, you can push through a little bit more. You're probably telling your cousin Greg that, listen, I know it's not sexy, but I've made 100% on energy. DVN, yeah, DVN's a good one. Again, they're all up. The whole fucking sector's up. What's the number one and number two sector since the beginning of this year? Energy, and then banks. Number one and number two. That's the fucking reality. And guess what? We've been all over it, baby. All over it. Lord of the flies. We're a bunch of flies. The market shit. That's us. The boogeymen. Trading the homely tickers that now are looking pretty good. It's like in those movies, get the homely protagonist, and he turns out to be good looking. I told you. That's in terms of the long term over the year. In terms of the year. Over the year, tech will still be number one. I'm talking about over the year. At the end of the year, tech will still be number one. Healthcare is two. In terms of right now, the current sector that's doing the best is energy and then banks. That's what's gained the most. Just go look at what's gained the most this year so far. Is energy and then banks, those sectors. I'm not talking about tier 1, tier 2, nothing like that. Just that's what's gained the most. What's gained the most? Small caps. Small cap value. Small cap value is up 50%. 50 fucking percent since the election. But this year, since January 1st, banks and energy have gained the most as a sector. That's what we've been trading. We took that bank trade. You guys remember this big trade? We went through FAS, through this right here. Georgia runoff. Georgia runoff, we traded FAS. Right on the open. Fucking huge trade. What happened? consolidate for a little bit. Did that remove anything? No. No. We went long again and have been since pushing it. Bought more on the pullback, right? And then FAS again is the leveraged. This is the 3x. So we took this big trade here. What do we do? Took the same trade. Difference here, of course, is you're getting some silly points on the leverage. You don't have to be in the lever for this because it was a long-term trade. We took it over here because it's a short-term trade, so you made an instant 100%. I mean, it was instant. Instant 100%. We get more than that, of course. Over here, it's not as good to use the leverage if you're going to be in something over a week, right? The risk is just not as good. Not worth as much. Too much tail. All right. I don't think there's much to see here. I want to make... Again, we're sort of neutral into Powell. Neutral into Powell. Market could crash, could pamp. Could be one or the other, to be honest with you. Crash, pamp, same thing. Trade it both ways. You guys should be happy for price movement and volatility because the fucking movement lets you trade. Up or down, you should be happy. You should be happy to fucking be here. Price movement, that's all you want. Just give me more price movement. More volatility so that we can just trade. That's what we want to do. The worst thing is when you can't trade. PVAC is definitely crazy. 869, and again, you can tell that liquidity problem. But again, same move, energy. Was it hard to tell to continue today? No, it wasn't. Was not. We followed the macros. Now we'll see. We will see. I think we're going to call lunch early because, again, I want to watch the Powell thing and I got to do some things beforehand. Let's see. Everything is where it was. Nothing's really changed. Again, stay in your lane. I'm going to say this. I'm going to be in chat. I'll be in chat for when it's happening. If we start to go really bid, then I won't say anything. I'll let you know if I'm going to switch over to transition, taking on shorts, something like that. You'll know, though. You'll know because the price will tell you. You'll see me. You'll feel me behind you. Not like that, you sickos, but, you'll feel my presence there. See, like, all right, I should just watch price here and, I'm going to chill. I have no idea what Powell's saying, so let me just watch price and see what they do. That's a good way to do it. Because a lot of the times, again, it doesn't really fucking matter. It's just the way he says it and we already know what he's going to say. It's whether he says what he's supposed to or not, right? That's the best part about Powell speaking and the market reacting is that the market is telling him what to say. He has to say what the market wants to hear. That's the best part. And if he doesn't say it exactly how we want to hear it, then we get mad at him as a market. It's like a bunch of kids that don't get to eat out or they don't get what they want. That's what we are as a market. We are like that. It's like earnings. Earnings always fucking technically beat, right? Earnings beat. But what's happening? It's like, well, they didn't do as good as we thought. They should have done more. That kind of thing, right? So again, Powell is not going to do anything. And why did the market pull back so much? It's rotating. It's rotation because of yields again. It's not you and I. It's the big institutions that are transitioning because the yields, they want to get out of bonds. They want to keep trading risk. They want to be involved in risk, but to do it, they have to get out of some of that growth, which takes time. It does take time. And we're seeing that continue. We're going to get squeezed out of our we're going to squeeze our eyeballs out of our head. Squeeze the eyeballs out of our head from the March contracts. I guarantee it. The squeeze from the March contracts coming into those March monthlies, we are going to get absolutely fucking destroyed from the squeeze. There's nothing we can do, and I'm sure there's already some sort of hedging going on because of that. There's all kinds of stuff going on because of it. Don't get mad at JP, man. I'm long. JP Morgan. UNG. Well, this is all oil. This is a tough. Again, this is a tough trade in terms of you just candle trading. This is all the macros, right? Just this is the economics. This is those of you that took economics. You go, oh yeah, see, well, let me tell you, if there's money and flows in crude, then there's probably not as much in natural gas. What's really happening here? It's really not as simple as just like taking demand from another sector. What's happening here? The fucking U.S. is supplying a ridiculous amount. So it's oversupply. What happens when there's a ton of supply? The price comes down. Price comes down because of, Jay Powell. Oh, never heard anyone say it like that. I love Jay Powell. The dude has paid, he made me who I am today. But so for like a chart like this, it's just supply, right? Supply keeps growing, so price keeps coming down. Supply keeps growing, so price keeps coming down. That's all this chart is, and it's like, all you have to do is time the local high. Local high, short. Local high, short. Consolidate, break down. Take it. Okay, yeah, my last point before taking a break here. Ecto says, man, if I knew my econ minor would have came in handy after graduation, I would have paid attention. Every single market, all it is economics. People that take finance realize really quick that their finance degree or business degree actually sucks. Really quick, you realize once you go to an institution, there's a reason they will hire a shitty econ student over A+ finance degree almost every time, because all it is supply and demand. All it is supply and demand, and then the price. Price being set because of that. Business, finance, they don't help you with the fucking math behind supply and demand. And if every single decision is supply and demand based, who are the people that fucking know it? It's economics, and it's problem solving. That's why, again, I'm biased because that's fucking what I did. That's what I taught. And I try to convert everybody. But it doesn't change the fact that it's true. It's the true preparation to solve any problem. It's a way of looking at things. You're looking at everything through opportunity cost, diminishing returns, supply and demand, baby. That's it. It's all the market is. All it is. If there's more memers coming in, that's more demand. That's all I need to know for price. They even figured it out. But it certainly is important. Some of you should definitely go back and read a fucking econ book. Yeah, they're the worst written books, but whoops. Anyways, let's take a break for lunch. I clicked the button too early. Let's take a break for lunch, drink some water, get out of your seat. Those of you that are stressing, stop stressing so much. Enjoy life. Again, you guys have a goal of being fucking rich or some shit someday. You're not going to be happy. Okay, you will be happy because you'll have money. But you got to enjoy the time during it, right? You're going to reach your goal, and then you're going to be happy for 5 minutes, and then you're going to set some new ridiculous goal and be stressed and miserable through the whole thing. You can't be stressed and miserable every single day leading towards your goal and then think that once you get there, you'll be happy. Be happy now. I'll see you guys later. Enjoy.